Today's spooky spot, we're having a look at the Playmates toys, Addams Family Uncle Fester. Push his head down, squeeze his legs, and Uncle Fester's head pops up with another hair-raising idea. It also looks like Uncle Fester comes with Thing. This time, Thing is holding the TNT activator. I'd be curious to know if people actually use that to activate TNT. If that is an actual lever that they push down. That would be awesome. There's a portrait up the top there as well of the Addams family, consisting of the full family, except really excluding cousin It. Thing dusting off the... I like that Thing dusting off the... Which would be somewhat ironic that there's cobwebs all over it. I would imagine they'd want to kind of keep the portrait like that, and there's Thing working his due diligence to try to clean up the frame. On the back of the packaging, once again, more imagery of the Addams family from the cartoon. This was a cartoon that aired, I guess, in the late 80s, early 90s. The Addams family. The other members of the Addams family consist of Gomez, Morticia, Lurch, Wednesday, Thing, Pugsley, Granny, Uncle Fester, and Cousin It. As for your read-up, his real name is Uncle Fester Addams. Appearance, hairless, heavy-set Hulk with pale white complexion and very bad teeth. Deep-set, crazy-looking eyes, underscored by permanent black circles. No matter what the season, he always wears the well-worn overcoat, never without his trusty dynamite and plunger. As a side note, Spot really loved the Addams Family live-action movie with Raul Julia and Christopher Lloyd. It was a phenomenal movie. The sequel wasn't as good, but I really like the original. Hobbies include blowing up everything, including himself. Unorthodox scientific experiments and inventions. Quote, if you need an extra speed bump, I'm your man. Personality, Gomez's brother, Fester, is even more kid than Wednesday and Pugsley, and he still hasn't figured out what he wants to be when he grows up. He has such a terminal zest for life, and he's electrically charged. But he's not the brightest member of the Addams family. Lovable, kind, and sentimental, Fester gets misty-eyed when he's remembering the bad old days of his youth, like the time Mom had him tarred and feathered. Fester gets his greatest pleasure from creating explosions, especially the ones that leave him charred and singed, with smoke pouring from his ears. Oh boy. Attaboy, Fester. He's something else. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. Certainly when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Addams family member, Uncle Fester. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stay tuned. For accessories, Uncle Fester does come with a detonator for TNT. And look what's standing, or look what's holding the stick for the TNT. It is Thing. Probably my favorite version of Thing that's been released so far with these Addams Family figures. At least Thing you can kind of have him posed with the other members of the Addams Family. Unlike Morticia, where Thing is just holding a plant, you really can't do too much with Thing. Here, at least, he can stand, so to speak, next to the other members of the family. So I like that. The TNT is just cast in one straight brown plastic, but it still works. It works for what it needs to do, and again, I really like Thing on the handle there. Other things that come with, other things, no pun intended, that come with Uncle Fester, you get yourself a stick of dynamite. One side has the actual thread, the actual cord wick from the fuse, thank you, the fuse from the TNT. The other end is just a plug. The downside, though, is when you take Fester, it obviously won't go like that. That makes no sense because the fuse wick is down there. You would actually want to have it this way, but the problem is that's a really big plug for such... It's almost like the exact same sized hole. So to get it in, it's really difficult. You have to really, really apply pressure to get Fester to hold the dynamite. The dynamite kind of really just floats on his hand, because theoretically, if the dynamite's up here, I don't know how he's holding it, but it does what it needs to do. The other finger, on the other hand, is... oh, did you see what I did right there? The other finger on the other hand. This hand. I'm here all night. Anyways, the other finger is wrapped as a bandage, so I'm pretty sure Fester has done something to himself, but has learned at least something from hopefully from his experiments. Speaking of experiments, and speaking of Fester, we'll just put that to the side for a second. For your gimmick, Fester's head is on a big spring. This whole torso section right here is just empty. It's a hollow piece, but there's a spring inside, and you can take Fester's head and push it down all the way, which in itself kind of really is a funny look to have him in, even if you're not using the gimmick. But the one leg has no, well, it moves in and out, but this leg right here triggers your gimmick. So when you squeeze, assumingly you squeeze the two together, but you're really only squeezing the one to activate it. When you squeeze it, it pops his head back up for another idea. And I guess it is really more a combination. There's probably like a little trigger right in the middle there. Yeah, right in the middle that you have to kind of, yeah, you would have to probably squeeze both legs to get it together. He does have peg holes on the undersides of his feet. No display stands, no vehicles, no nothing. I don't know why they have peg holes, but Fester might actually be my favorite so far. By a comparison, we'll just put Fester right there. We'll bring in what we've looked at so far. There's Morticia, and of course his brother. There is Gomez. And Gomez almost is the hardest to stand, just because his legs are bent. Fester at least stands the best. There we go. You can see kind of there's a size difference between them. Fester a little bit taller than Gomez. Morticia still taller than the other two. It's a nice look to have. Oh, there he goes. It's a nice look to really have all of them together. And then of course you can have Thing just in the front. Moving Morticia out of the way. I really like his look. Again, like it's that, I like the yellow eyes, the yellow teeth. He's got the black outlines around his eyes. He's a really neat looking figure. Even if you weren't really going to put him in with the Addams Family lineup, he is still just a great looking piece. I also like the gimmick as well. Nice little popping head, that always works. For your articulation, he has no articulation in the head because again all of it is just gimmick heavy. He does have a swivel in the arms though. And I guess to some extent he has articulated legs, but they don't really, I mean they move out, but I mean the reason why they're kind of hinged the way that they are is so that the gimmick does work. For your rating, I'm going to give Uncle Fester a very terrifying 7.5. Again, Spot's going like this just to kind of give it the atmosphere. Today's spooky spot, we were having a look at the Playmates toys, the Addams Family Uncle Fester. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more videos heading your way, more spectacular videos heading your way this month of Spottober. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.